Hey guys, I'm Sunil Vyas. I'm Canadian licensed immigration consultant, and today we are going to talk about a very promising permanent residency pathway, which has been time testedly been an amazing pathway. That is OINP, Foreign Worker Stream, Employment Job Offer category permanent residency pathway. The pathway is very good, very fantastic. If you have an employer who's ready to support you for your permanent residency application, then this would be an amazing pathway to secure permanent residency in coming time. The requirements are very simple. We are going to go through the requirements, the eligibility criteria, and how much would be the processing time and how soon can you secure your permanent residency if you are in Ontario. So the stream requirement is that you should have a skill job that is into tier 0123. If you're an employer who can give you a skill job, as well as if an employer is ready to support you by giving you an employer form and full-time job offer letter, then you can go ahead and apply under this stream. Moreover, the pathway is not only applicable for people who are inside Canada. Even if you are outside Canada, this pathway is very popular. So this pathway can help you to secure permanent residency, irrespective of you are inside Canada or you are outside Canada. So let's review the job requirement. So the job requirement is very simple. The job opportunity which you are going to get has to be a full-time job. It has to be like full-time means 30 hours a week is considered as full-time in Ontario, and the eligible occupation has to be into skill zero, like tier category 0123. It has to exceed the median wage of that prevalent place of the prevalent city or town where you're working. So how you can find out that what is the median wage in that in your town, in your place of residence? In that case, the prevalent you can go to the job bank account. Once you go to job bank account, you can see that you can select your knock code, you can select your like occupation, and based on the occupation you can filter it with your city or town where you would be working, and you can get the median wage. If in case that town is not available in the list of job bank, in that case you have to consider the median wage of Ontario. Moreover, the position has to be an urgently necessary to employer's business, as well as the work location has to be in Ontario. Now let us look at the applicant's requirement. So the applicant has to submit an EOI, expression of interest, and has to wait for the invitation. The work experience requirement here is like a job offer has to be like if like you should have once you have a job offer, it has to be in the same knock code where you have worked. So probably like if you go ahead and you apply with your experience, then you are going to you would need experience of 2 years in last 5 years. So that is one of the requirement which is there, or equivalent. It can be into like full time for 2 years or equivalent amount of part time. If in case you require a valid license to perform your duties in Ontario, then you need to get that from the designated authorities. The intentions, there should be clear intentions to live in Ontario, and if in case you are having a legal status in Ontario, if you are in Ontario, then you have to maintain that status as on a visitor record or study permit or work permit when you apply, and should be maintained. You should maintain that status until the time of nomination. That is one of the requirement. And if you are not able to maintain the status, there might be consequences which can which can make your application complicated. Now let us look at employer's requirement. So employer requirement, the general requirement is like employer should be into active business for at least 3 years. The business has to be in premises of Ontario, and there should not be any outstanding orders made against them under Ontario Employment Standard Act 2000 or the Occupational Health and Safety Act. And the employer should demonstrate that he has made enough efforts to recruit a Canadian permanent resident or citizen, and he is not getting someone. That's why he wants to support someone to fulfill his business needs. If the employer is inside GTA, then the turnover, the revenue has to be, the annual gross revenue has to be like $1 million. If the employer is out of GTA, that is Greater Toronto Area, then the turnover requirement, that is the gross annual revenue requirement, is 500,000. The employer should give you a job which is in Ontario, and it has to be again a full-time job, and he has to demonstrate that he has done reasonable recruitment efforts to satisfy that the officer that the requirement was urgent, or for expansion or it to maintain his own business. It can be any of the reasons. There would be a requirement of employer form, and it has to be signed by the employer or the person who is designated by the employer. If you're nominated under this pathway, then you would be getting a nomination approval letter, a work permit support letter if in case you are out of Ontario, or if in case you don't have a work permit, or and along with that you would get a nomination certificate. So once you have the necessary documents with you, you must apply to IRCC for a work permit and permanent residency simultaneously. And moreover, you must continue to demonstrate on a reasonable basis an intention to reside in Canada, specifically in Ontario. Your employer must you must be employed in an approved employment position as of the date of your nomination if you are already working for the same employer. You have to apply for your work permit if in case you are out of Ontario within 6 months of getting nominated. And if in case you're not able to start your job within 10 months, in that case, you have to inform Ontario OINP department, OINP government authorities that you on their email ID that you have not started your job with the reasons which are mentioned into it. There is one more requirement. If the employer is into Greater Toronto area, in that case, he should demonstrate that he has 5 permanent residents or Canadian citizens who are working with him. If in case the employer is out of GTA, in that case, he has to demonstrate that he is having 3 PR or Canadian citizens who are working in his business. And in that case, these all requirements are there, and there are certain other eligibility requirements. If in case your employer is qualifying into it and he is ready to support, then this would be an amazing pathway to secure permanent residency. This pathway can be helpful if you are on open work permit, if you are on closed work permit, or even if you don't have any kind of visas. So probably if you want to come to Canada on work permit, or you are planning to come to Canada on visitor, in any of the cases, this is an amazing pathway. The requirements I have already shared, and feel free to book a consultation if you would like to understand in detail that would you fit into the requirement or not, would the employer be eligible to support you, or if in case you have any other questions. And you can save my video and share it with your friends so that they can also get advantage out of it. Thank you so much.